Man, this is a dream come true. Housing for homeless veterans and very low-income families of San Francisco. This is beautiful. Ed Lee's birthday is tomorrow, and he is smiling from heaven. Am I right? Anita, am I right? Yes! Okay, this is too much joy. I promise not to preach too long. Because we got the Madam Speaker here and the Mayor, you want to hear them more than me. But I always like to start with some blessing. So those of you who know me, I try to do the people's blessings. All right, so you have to say the 4 words. Matt, real loud, right? Okay, you're in the front row, so I can hear. Okay, we wish the spirit of these 4 words to bless this beautiful Mayor Edwin M. Lee apartments. Okay, so we're going to do it together. Repeat after me. Peace. Peace. Joy. Joy. Hope. Hope. And love. May those 4 super ingredients of the Spirit bless everyone who comes in and out of this place. In Chinese, we call it Chat Yap Ping An. Whoever comes in and goes out leaves with peace. All right, now I'm going to be so short. I'm surprising myself. Here we go. We have one of the best mayors of this country. Okay. She can brag for herself. Let's welcome the mayor. Come on. Let them breathe. Woo!
Reverend Fong, we thought you were retired.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let me tell you, Reverend Fong, CCDC, and the work that they've done with Swords to Plowshare, with our speaker, Madam Nancy Pelosi, who's fighting the good fight every single day, but also taking care of home. We are so very fortunate to have so many amazing champions. And I want to thank you all for being here today. This place has manifested itself as a vision that our former Mayor Ed Lee had to answer the call that was put out to end veteran homelessness in San Francisco and in our country. And he stepped up to that call. I remember when I first became mayor going to the Auburn Hotel and how it really did bring tears to my eyes because of the stories that I heard from so many of the formerly homeless veterans who now had a safe, affordable place to call home. Tomorrow is Ed Lee's birthday, and today we honor him, and this place is a testament to his legacy. And we want to thank his wife, Anita Lee, so much for being here today to celebrate. Anita sacrificed so much because her husband was mayor taking care of so many of us. I miss those days of us working together. And now it's so important that we continue to move forward with goals that he set to make sure that we build affordable housing in this city, that we build housing and we don't let bureaucracy get in the way. The people who live here that moved in January of 2020, they are counting on us to make good decisions and to move forward and not let it get in the way of something so spectacular. This place is magical, this courtyard. The formerly homeless veterans who are moving in here, the low-income families who now have a place to raise their children, the teen rooms and the centers and the places that they will have to gather and be a community right in the heart of Mission Bay. This is absolutely extraordinary. And there were so many people that made it possible. It basically took a village. It took a village of a lot of money, not just the mayor's office of housing and workforce development. It also took state and federal resources. And I want to really, first of all, thank the State of California Veteran Affairs. I want to thank the Office of Community Investment here in San Francisco. I want to thank the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Investment, Swords to Plowshares, CCDC, the California Department of Housing and Community Development. And I want to especially thank our Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. Her advocacy, her work, her tireless effort to support and uplift veterans through the resources from the federal government, it would not have been possible had it not been for her involvement in this project. It would not have gotten done. And then we had just a bit of a shortfall, and then the private sector stepped in. Ron Conway, Alex Turk, SF Cities, they helped to raise $4.5 million in philanthropic support to make sure that we got this project over the threshold. So many people. It really did take a village. This village has been incredible in pursuing opportunities to build more housing. And so we are truly grateful that we have over 100 families and veterans who are already living here will continue to thrive right here, and hopefully, who knows, maybe attend a Warrior game or two. And with that, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us here today. Have a wonderful day.
So, Mayor and Madam Speaker, I know you gave me a video message last year when I retired. Right. But I'm back here because I just can't stay away from all that's going on. I'm so honored that you are here. And weren't you here when we did the first project with Swords to Plowshare, Veterans Common?
A long time ago.
What? You're always here. She's always making time for us. So everyone put your hands together and shout out loud, "Yay, Madam Speaker!" Yeah, come on!
Peace, joy, hope, love. Norman. He's still here. But we're joined by Malcolm as well. Malcolm Yeung. Thank you to Chinatown Community Development Center. The mayor talked about this taking a village, and I want to follow up on her very apt theme. And this village is led by Mayor London Breed. She has been on this housing subject for her whole official life, and probably before that on a volunteer basis. So many of the things that came to fruition here had their roots in work that she did as a supervisor and of course now as mayor. So let's talk about that village that is San Francisco. It's a place that has beautiful diversity, and that's why this collaboration between our veterans and CCDC is so appropriate. The diversity of San Francisco, our strength. But I always say our diversity is our strength, our unity is our power. The unity between CCDC and our veterans is what has made this a magical, wonderful occasion. In addition to that, the collaboration, as the mayor described, federal, state, local, private sector, Ron Conway, John Kecker, I see others who have played a role. And for years, many of us have been involved in low-income housing tax credit, which has been a root to so much. But again, it has to be combined with other things to make this all happen. I also want to just talk for a moment about our veterans, not a moment, but a moment in connection to what's happening in DC right now. Right now, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Dennis McDonough. Dennis used to be the President Obama's chief of staff. And as President Obama's chief of staff, one of his priorities was about our homeless veterans. He came out here. To make sure that Project Homeless Connect was working for our veterans. He came out here personally, only for that purpose. And he has been following this issue. So the fact that he is now the Secretary of Veterans Affairs in the Biden administration, resurrecting what happened between HUD and Veterans Affairs administration then under Obama, and now resurrected in the Biden administration under Dennis McDonough's leadership, and Marcia Fudge, the Secretary of HUD, who has just recently worked with our mayor. So this, again, is all this coming together and deep-seated values in our city, our patriotism, our diversity, our respect for other opinions and collaboration, our respect for the public-private, nonprofit sectors coming together and recognizing that it doesn't work without all of that. Our VIP today for speaking will be Margie Talavera, who is a resident, and we're all very eager to hear from her. But I also just want to acknowledge that all of those who are finding housing here, as the mayor said, raise their families to reach their own fulfillment, to have their own comfort. That's what this is really about. It's about the public policy to meet the needs of the people and to do so in a way that is, again, collaborative. I know that Supervisor Matt Haney is either, oh, there you are. Masks are throwing me off a little bit. Thank you, Matt, for your involvement. And Jason Elliott, Mayor Lee's former chief of staff, so beautiful. But again, when we talk about all the things that is San Francisco, it's about family. And here we are to pay tribute to Mayor Lee. Anita is here. Anita, thank you for sharing Ed Lee with us so completely, and thank you for honoring us with your presence today, Anita. So, and again, when Mayor Lee came into office, he was ready. You know, with the jobs that he had had in the city equipped him to do the job. When Mayor London Breed came from the board, he came from the administrative office, but she came from the Board of Supervisors. She was ready. She was ready to bring all of these incredible assets of our community together. And when we take some pride in what we are able to do at the federal level, it is only possible because we have initiatives of national significance that spring from our community. So again, this is, you know, an occasion like this, somebody will say, it's my pleasure to be here. It really is my pleasure to be here today, to pay tribute to every aspect of our great city as we meet the needs of the people. And some other good news is that in our bill, the rescue package, there's $17 billion more for veterans that wasn't there before. The homeless aspects have not been fully defined, but that's in the works. So again, this is a priority for all of us. I talked about collaboration, I talked about unity. And the word community, which San Francisco is a great community, has the word unity in it. So I have this pin, which I wear quite a bit. It's a flag. It's a flag that has on it one country, one vision. That's what we can say about our city of San Francisco. We have a vision of meeting the needs of the people in a way that is respectful of their aspirations as well as our capabilities. And we want to have them have the biggest aspirations and us to have the best capability to meet their needs. So congratulations to everyone who had anything to do with Veterans Commons. I can't wait to hear from our special guest, our Representative Margie of the people who live here. They are truly our VIPs, our very important people, as are all of you who made today possible. So yes, it is my pleasure to be here to congratulate everyone, but especially personally to pay respects to Anita and our dearly beloved Mayor Lee. He's looking down as, did you say that, Norman? Did you say something like that? I thought so. I'm always imitating Norman. What can you do? He has so much to say. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you. Congratulations on everything that is happening here. And thank you, Mayor Breed, for being the catalyst to bring all of this together and make so much possible. Congratulations, San Francisco strong. Thank you.
I don't think I'm supposed to say I love you, Speaker Pelosi. Okay, anyway. Next we have Malcolm Yeung the current executive director of Chinatown CDC. But before he comes up, let me tell you, dreams do come true. These are tough times. And a lot of young folks are saying, my gosh, it's terrible, pandemic. And even worse, there's a lot more hate going around, right? So what's the cure? I'm using their language a little bit. The cure is herd immunity. And whenever a city, collaborators come together, we become the, what do you call it, neutralizing agent of love to counter that hate. One of the best things on earth was getting to know Michael Blecker too, of Towards the Plowshare. Everyone prays about it. The church, there's 800 churches there, but to actually do something. Look at it. 62 units for formerly homeless vets. And housing for very low-income families. Let me tell you, this is it. Herd immunity in action. It takes a long time, though. You gotta hang in there. But a long timer is Malcolm Yeung, who is now my boss. I was his boss for how many years? Okay, but now you're the boss. Come on up, make us look proud.
Wow. All right.
Are you sure he's the boss?
Yeah.
So, Mayor Breed in the back there asked me on the side, are you sure you're the executive director of this organization, Chinatown Community Development Center? And my response to her was, not on most days. You know, it's really an honor and distinct pleasure to be here. In addition to today being the opening of the Edwin M. Lee Apartments, in addition to tomorrow being Mayor Lee's birthday, May also marks the month of API Heritage Month, and it also marks Affordable Housing Month. And I want to call out the Affordable Housing Month issue in particular, because right here, we have a through line of champions for affordable housing from the local to the state to the federal, and they've been champions for their entirety of their career. That starts with Mayor Lee. Many people look at Mayor Lee and know he has many different legacies, but to me, one of his most important legacies was how he brought affordable housing back into the mainstream political conversation of San Francisco and made it something critical for the city to do, along with market rate housing. And he reintroduced that concept to us and he ingrained it. This mayor, Mayor Breed, has carried that ball and carried it amazingly. She passed a $600 million bond in 2019, and now she's incorporating affordable housing into the capital plan of the city, making it part of the infrastructure, which brings us to our next and most amazing champion, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, also shepherding the Infrastructure Act through Congress that will also incorporate affordable housing into the infrastructure of the nation. Unbelievable. I want to say it started here in San Francisco. Mayor Breed, your work is resonating throughout the country, and Speaker Pelosi is going to bring us home along with President Biden, so thank you for that. All right, now my written remarks. This is where it gets boring. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to Anita for coming up here and being with us. It means more than we can express to you. You know, I just want to say this building is a testament to Mayor Lee's legacy. I've always thought, as I mentioned before, that one of the most critical things Mayor Lee did was champion affordable housing in one of the most visible ways for a mayor, and we're running with that ball now. And I hope you're proud of us, and I hope he's proud of us, and I want to just thank everybody for that. But I want to call out why this building is a particularly good example of that aspect of Mayor Lee's legacy. Like Ed, this building aspires to bring together diverse populations to form a single community. Keely Watt, a staffer here on the resident services team, told me last night, and I want to quote her, "Veterans and families garden alongside one another in our community garden. They water plants, they share vegetables. One family has twice donated greens to veterans who don't or can't garden. The residents have come to look out for each other, and sometimes they do it in ways that you wouldn't even expect. A veteran recently spoke up on behalf of an Asian family who lives here, worrying that the family's garden may have been the target of a hate crime, and we know that that's been an issue this past year. It turned out that it wasn't a hate crime, it was an animal getting into the plants, but the Asian family said it felt good to have that sense of community where neighbors watch out for each other, and that's what we're trying to build here, and that's what the residents are moving towards. So thank Keely, she's in the back somewhere. I just want to thank you for her reflection and the effort she's put in to build this diverse community here, because bringing together veterans and families is not the first thing you'd think of whenever you create a community. But San Francisco has a track record of bringing together unconventional communities and finding strength in that pairing. In this case, the pairing of vets to families is almost as unconventional as the pairing of an organization with Chinatown in its name to an organization that serves veterans. Who would have ever thought that? But in all seriousness, I also just want to thank Swords to Plowshare and Michael and his team for opening this door to partnership. This is the second building that we're working on with them. We're working on a third building on Treasure Island. But really the thing that I want to say is thank you to the residents here for showing us that this door of these unconventional pairings is worth keeping open because of the community that it can build. So thank you very much to everybody's here. Thank you to everyone who supported this project and this effort. And thank you so much to our leaders for making sure that the dream of affordable housing and affordability is going to continue well into the future of this community. Thank you.
Earlier, Michael Blecker from Swords to Plowshares said, it's like we're married, right? Chinatown CDC, yeah. Swords. I just wanted to say that, but Madam Speaker wants to introduce you. It's better than me, Michael. I always tell too many jokes. So here we go. This is unplanned, everyone.
Thank you, Norman. This is a very unplanned and unprecedented that Norman would give up the microphone ahead of time, right? Here we go. But I really want to say to you what I say to my colleagues in Washington, D.C. about Michael Blecker and Swords to Plowshares. This is a model for our nation of how to meet the needs of our vets in a way that is personal as well as pragmatic to get the job done. I've appointed Michael to the Department of Veterans Affairs Commission on Care, where he brought his deep knowledge of what was needed for the care of our veterans, his, shall we say, courageous disagreement when necessary to that. He was enormous value added. I knew he would be because I have seen him in action. I started with Swords to Plowshares when Mayor Agnos was mayor. So I've seen him work with at least 5 mayors, and now, of course, with our great Mayor Breed. He understands that it all starts with meeting the personal needs of our vets, to honor the sacrifice they and their families have made, to recognize the challenges that they have, and that when we talk about vets, homeless vets, it's a challenge to our conscience in a very, very particular way. And so when we want to meet their housing needs, we want to do so with a continuum of care that is worthy of the sacrifice of our men and women in uniform. And nobody does it better in the country. And I meet regularly with the veteran service organizations. Michael has from time to time been able to join us at that big table. And every time he does, it gives me the opportunity to take pride in what he does, take pride in how our city has recognized the value of what he has done and is doing, and how it is a model to the nation. So I appreciate Norman giving me the opportunity to say a few words and welcome to the podium a real American hero, Michael Blecker, Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah. How sweet and warm is that? Well, thank you so much. I just want to say that, this is sort of like a miracle, right? It was like an asphalt, a railroad that was abandoned back in the day, and then to sort of like create this housing. And former Mayor Lee, that's what he said. He said, I want to have this housing for veterans. It was just like an asphalt parking lot, right? And now all of a sudden it's a beautiful, with a gorgeous, courtyard and everything. It's wonderful. But of course, the real miracle and magic is what's happening to those who are here, right? This is going to be home for them, and should they pass away or should they leave, there'll be a home for another veteran. So the housing stays for veterans, and that's part of the magic of this, collaboration. The fact that you bring federal subsidies into a city, right? You create all these incredible financial sources to raise all the dough you need, but for investors, it's all like backed up by the public sector, or else it wouldn't work for them, right? So it's a tremendous, like I said, collaboration, and all of a sudden you have this and a groundbreaking, but of course all the work that goes in. And we're so fortunate to have Chinatown Community Development Center as a key partner, and we look forward to future projects, but also just all the city departments, right? All the state departments, all the community networks. It's all part of the deal, right? It's all like we're all working together on this to make it work. We're Swords and Plowshares, kind of that little engine that could, when you kind of cranking up that hill. But I will say that, I think we fought the good fight with establishing, getting housing, homeless veterans, on the radar, and say this is a shameful disgrace. We got to do something. And part of that's been a big partner with the Veterans Administration, making sure that we protect the Veterans Administration as a solid, top-notch health system that needs to be protected. And if it doesn't, it will be like skirted away to private health insurance, and we have to stop that. And the VA's played a major role in helping subsidize units, again, to make all these things turn out. But it all comes down to, how do you engage folks? What's the level of engagement? How can you care for them? And we know that veterans, especially from my generation, are sicker and poorer and, in worse shape. And so they need that kind of care. And we're determined to give them that kind of care. And whether it's providing drop-in care, or it's meeting them where their needs are, whether it's providing, housing, maybe residential treatment beds, we do that. It's crucial outreach that we do. It's ensuring that in emergency hotels, that we're very active with that, and making sure the people that leave the hotels have a place to stay. So we, like everyone here, we roll our sleeves up and we do the work, because that's what we have to do, because we're mission driven and we understand the honor of this really position to care for veterans. And I appreciate everyone being here, and you're all part of this big support. So thanks again. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I let Vito go next?
Who?
Vito.
Oh, you want to change it? Okay.
They want to change it.
Okay. A change in schedule. Since we got the big shot Secretary of California Department of Veteran Affairs here, Calvet, we would like to have Vito Imbasiani. Did I say it right? Close enough. You're coming on board right now. We're going to hang in there, Margie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Reverend Fong, for the introduction. Madam Speaker, Madam Mayor, and all the guests and community leaders responsible for this project. I'm Vito Imbasiani. I'm the Secretary of the California Department of Veterans Affairs, and I'm here today, May the 4th. May the 4th. There are too many Star Trek fans in the audience. I'm not going to finish that sentence, but I'm sitting here realizing, oh my heavens, the force is with us. The forces of partnership, the forces of civic governmental leadership, the forces of community charity, the forces of philanthropy, all here today in this very spot on May the 4th. This is always going to be a great day when we can dedicate new housing for veterans and their families. As we look at this beautiful new facility, the Edwin M. Lee Apartments, I'm looking at much more than just the successful completion of a routine construction project. This property is so much more than just architectural drawings and building materials. The windows of these buildings are windows of opportunity for veterans who are looking to make their paths forward more secure. In these Ed Lee Apartments, the walls to them are like berms that will provide sanctuary for veterans who gave so much in their service to the nation. I see rooftops that offer protection against some of the hardships they had to endure. And all of this is based on firm foundations upon which veterans will not merely build their future, but flourish in it. These buildings are, in essence, reflective of the love and respect we all share for those who defended our Constitution and our freedoms. Securing housing for veterans is one of CalVet's core missions, which is why I am so very honored to be here today. In addition to advocating for California's 1.6 million veterans, our agency also helped to fund this project through our Veterans Housing and Homelessness Prevention Program, known as VHHP, a program that we administer in close collaboration with the California Department of Housing and Community Development. VHHP helps to fund the development or rehabilitation of affordable multifamily housing for veterans and their families. And whether it is permanent, supportive, or transitional housing, it comes, all of it, with an emphasis on veterans who are experiencing homelessness or who have extremely low incomes. At a rate of about once a year for 5 years now, VHHP has awarded more than $357 million to 72 projects all over the state, of which this is one, contributing to the production of more than 4,700 housing units throughout California, over 2,500 of which are specifically reserved for veterans. But still, our work is by no means done, and we still have a long way to go. Over 11,000 veterans experience homelessness in this state on any given night. That's about 8% of the total homeless population in California, even though our veterans here only account for 4% of our state population. And what's more distressing, California alone has a quarter of the nation's homeless veterans and over 1/2 of the nation's total unsheltered veterans. So clearly, providing a roof and 4 walls is a great start, but it doesn't completely resolve the issue of homelessness in the long term. We now know what is required to give veterans housing stability, a sense of community, a sense of compassion, and the necessary services delivered in a culturally competent manner to support veterans as they address the issues that contributed to their homelessness. And that's why we're so proud and delighted to support Swords to Plowshares during this dedication. Their work providing services and housing to veterans over the last 40 years is a testament to the commitment and dedication of their entire staff and Swords Executive Director and Founder Michael Blecker. Furthermore, the support of their development partners in this project, this wonderful partnership, Chinatown Community Development Center and the City of San Francisco, and several others over the year, have benefited countless lives. And for all of those reasons, I believe that Mayor Lee would be very proud of how this undertaking turned out. So I leave you with this. This dedication ceremony could only happen because so many of you dedicated your time, your efforts, and your hearts to make these walls of sanctuary, these windows of opportunity, these rooftops of protection, the foundation of so many solid and promising futures. Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Todd, crew, get ready for the video. We are honored to have Margie Talavera to come up and share her story living here. She's a vet and she lives there. She's going to share her story, but there's going to be a video first. I always wanted to say this. 1, 2, 3, hit it.
When I was able to move here, I thought I won the lotto. It's brand new. It's like I'm the first person in this apartment. I'm the first person in that bathroom. That's a big deal for me. Once I was living in my car and often living on couches. That is difficult when you're an independent female. You're saying thank you because you're not in the streets, but it breaks your heart.
So I spent 8 years homeless, I guess. in and out of homelessness. My mother said I wasn't really homeless, I just wouldn't be still, but I was homeless. Because I was in shelters. I was tired. I was actually physically, mentally, emotionally tired, spiritually tired. And this place is beautiful. I'm so grateful to be here. I couldn't believe it really, actually, for a while.
You can't underestimate the value of safe housing for people. I think you see that on both sides, from the Chinatown Community Development Center as well as Source of Plowshares. What we've given people here and what they've given us as well is a sense of belonging. We're starting to see friendships, people getting to know each other.
When the children come in the courtyard, well, they're laughing and it just makes you feel good, you know. So I always look out and I see them playing.
We were tasked with building community when we first opened here. 1 day a week, one of the veterans volunteers to be chef. So if you cook a meal, you're starting to take a leadership role, however small, in the community. The Chinatown Community Development Center offered grants for artists. So the very first person whose piece has been finished, Randall Larson, he's a prominent street artist in San Francisco and well known. He did a piece that involved the community. One that's just starting is a leather worker. All of these things have a huge impact. The environment being a catalyst for them to start thinking about change that they perhaps didn't think was possible for them.
When I lived in the shelters, I didn't feel safe, sleeping. But being home, to be able to come back home, that's beautiful. And it's peaceful. I have a peace of mind.
I just look around and I say, I'm okay. That's a great feeling. And wake up, I'm okay. Because I know when I go to bed, I'm okay. And when I wake up, it's like, I told you. It's just a great feeling. Everyone should have that.
To find that you can be stable and actually mattering to the world, this is happening because you're living in this place. We're starting to see how community is built. Veterans are reaching out to each other. Edwin M. Lee Apartments is a place of hope and healing and peace. And you can't underestimate any one of those factors in the success of this place in just 1 year.
Okay, Margie. Give it up for Margie, come on. Hey, wait, I forgot your dog's name. Is it Bear?
Little Bear.
Little Bear. All right, let's give it up for Margie. Yay, it's all yours.
Hi, everybody. Little Bear. Yes, I heard 17 billion and I went, oh, wow. Yes, let me say first, this is beauty. This is what I see every day from that window, and it makes me feel good. I live in an apartment that's brand new. I'm safe and I'm happy. I represent the veterans here, and I live with families as well. This is our hamlet, and management here looks out for us and encourages us to communicate with each other and become part of society again. Coming from the streets into a new apartment can take a while to get used to. But to know that now I can make my own breakfast, I can get up when I want, I can sleep when I want, and he's safe. That's huge. You know what it's like when someone rings your doorbell now? I'm sure you all know, and you go, hey, come on in. A lot of people take that for granted. Now, for us, man, my sister, come on in. I couldn't do that before. So, San Francisco, Edward Lee, just that name of this place should indicate to you how great this is. I remember him. He would smile all the time. And if you saw him in the street, he would go like this. All the time. And I remember he used to always talk about building the city up. And he would tell us that. He was always smiling. Well, look at this. If you want to know who San Francisco is, what San Francisco is, this is San Francisco. Diversity, families, looking out for each other. It is about working together. It is a struggle. But this is a picture of beauty. This is peace. This is ours and this is yours. Welcome to our home. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you so much. You almost made me cry. Bye, little bear. All right. Wow. Woo. I love it. Passion, hope, joy when we need it most. We have Anita, Mrs. Lee, Ed's partner in life, and just to let you know, she's going to just say a few words. You can talk more if you want, but she drove all the way up. Okay, Andrew drove 6 hours. You went fast to be here with us. So let's give her and welcome her with a big hand, Mrs. Anita Lee. Oh, this is for you. I just got it. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you all for being here today. I had to look.
Okay.
Okay. We are all honored that this project has bears some memory of Ed. Affordable housing was his passion, and I know this would have meant so much to him. Thank you so much.
All right. Now you got the flowers.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you.
we're supposed to
Say happy birthday.
Yeah, we're supposed to sing happy birthday, but we all need your help. She won't do it without everyone there. Camera people too. Ready? We'll sing happy birthday to Mayor Ed Lee. Oh, okay. Ed Lee. All right.
Ed Lee.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ed Lee. Happy birthday to you. Brother! Ow!
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is a time for question and answers. I'm not going to answer them. Who's coming up to answer them? Oh, cut the ribbon first? Change the schedule. I'm flexible.
Madam Speaker wants to cut the ribbon.
Okay.